All right,
Once
so
we're about to
I
get
am
started, maybe you could take it out
recording
your
now. All right, guys, I want to welcome y'all to the
mm-hmm.
show. This is episode two. We're gonna start off by you know, letting you know my wife is here. One of my I don't like saying this, but my favorite cousin is here. Don't tell nobody that. My boy Gio's here. You know,
Yeah, what's going
and,
on? What's going on?
and we're gonna start off from the beginning, and I'm gonna go and say that I don't know if everybody's been paying attention to the news, but the first question was just basically asking, like, do you think the situation handled by the officer in Philadelphia was correct? And just to give a little backstory, if you don't really understand it, was basically from my research of it, the police officers came to the house. It was a mentally challenged man who had a knife that they called police on, and these police officers weren't armed with tasers at all. So they just had a gun, and I guess this person came towards them. They felt threatened, and two officers, both of them shot. So we can start off with that. See what y'all intake on that is. Anybody
Well,
want
of
to go?
course, you know how I feel about it. I feel like at the end of the day, like regardless, the police has not been handling any of these situations correctly. I don't understand why they like aim to kill. Like, why are you shooting to kill instead of shooting to like hinder? That's always been my issue. It's like, or use a stun gun or a taser or something like that. You should be trying to hinder them from harming you, not necessarily kill them. That's my belief on it.
It's true.
Totally agree. The sad thing is they're like you said, they're actually trained to do that. A lot of police officers will tell you that they're not trained to wound anybody. If they feel threatened, it's take them down, take them out.
Yeah, neutralize.
So I think that that's the overall issue anyway. I mean, technically, by the book, their book, yeah, they handled that by their book, but no, I think that's terrible. I think they need to go back, retrain, because I mean, it's sad that that's their train of thought. Take them down, take them out.
It sounds like their whole you just said like their book, it sounds like their whole book just needs to be like changed because my thing is it's like you are supposed to be here for us, for the people. You're supposed to be protecting us. So at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you should be doing things that make us feel safe, not feel unsafe. You just automatically jump into I should be trained to just shoot somebody. No, like that's not okay. That makes me feel unsafe. That makes me feel unsafe like about my family, about my I have a lot of brothers, I have a lot of males in my family, and it's like if we have kids, I might have some younger boys, and it's like how can I feel safe having kids and having a family if this is what y'all are trained to do? So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we need to just uproot that whole system, that whole idea, and just redo that whole thing. Like they need to change their whole book at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I mean, I do have kids, two boys,
Mhm.
and they're growing up, as it gets crazier. And you can only imagine. I have two boys, I have a husband myself. It's
Mhm.
scary to think that, you know, let's say one of them were mentally challenged or something, instead of helping them, if you feel threatened, you're going to automatically try to take them out. It makes no sense to me, and it's sad and it's scary. And I've had conversations about just their whole training in general, and not really to get completely off topic, but with their training and their job itself, I feel like it requires an update every couple of months, every once a year, of refresher. Because how many times have you been in a job where you get so used to it that you don't even have to look at the book anymore? You just automatically assume you know what you're doing, and you just go for whatever. And that's the thing with police officers. They just go with what they think the situation is. Oh, I've had this situation before. That last mentally challenged person came at me. I'm threatened. I'm going to take them down. But this is a different person. This is a different scenario. But because they're so in routine, it seems like it just keeps happening.
Do you think it's more or less like just black people? Because I look at it, just the idea of if this was a white person, you think it would have been a different reaction to it?
Of course. Of course. There's like
Yeah.
no doubt about that. Like there is no question about that.
So, and I do believe it is because they are black, but also a lot of times it's status too.
Sure enough.
Like
So,
depending on if this were in a different part of the city, maybe, nicer home, police officers, it's definitely color of your skin, but it's also status. They're more prone to hold off if this is a black person in like a mansion area.
I don't know, because they automatically make the assumption that if you are in that mansion area, there's no way that you as a black person own that. So I don't know about that one. Because it's like, if they like how I think Cam has told me stories, most of the times about where when he was in his own neighborhood, where he like a police officer just be looking at him like, what are you doing here? Like, do you live here? And ask to see like his actual license, because there's no way, there seems to be like no way that because he's black, he should be able to live in this nice area, this nice home, this quiet town. Like there just can't be a way for somebody black to live in a mansion or live nicely. So I don't know.
I guess everybody has their different experiences, and also male versus female, because I mean, Cam, I lived in a pretty rich area in Virginia, and I didn't I didn't experience that per se with like law enforcement, just more like people around. So I guess it's male versus female aspect of it too. But from just personal experience and just seeing where a lot of these events have been taking place, it seems to always be in like a lower class area.
Yeah. Yeah. What
sure.
you think, Gio?
I think it just all comes to putting things into perspective of, being a cop and then being someone who is a civilian like us and we have guns pointed at them. We're both um, scared at both ends. So me personally, if I were a cop and I see a man with a knife, I'm actually thinking, okay, I got to protect me. If I got a family I'm coming home to, or if I got things that are near and dear to me, then without knowing the person, just seeing them as a regular person with a knife, or anything beyond that, it's all gonna come down to, okay, well, did you know this person was mentally ill, or had some type of condition to where they aren't 100% stable throughout the day. It's just certain things that as cops, it can't just be muscle memory. You have to have some type of perspective to where you're both, you're taking your job seriously, but at the same time, you have some type of compassion about who you're dealing with on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis.
True enough. True enough.
It can't be robotic. I
Yeah.
compare, I've been lately thinking about just cops and their situations, and they're regular human beings, but also they are under a different kind of spotlight right now.
Yes.
And and it's hard because I hear people all the time saying, I just can't stand cops. It's like, not all of them are the same, but
Right.
because cops are hearing all the time, well, I can't stand them, or they're automatically feeling threatened and pressured now anyway. You don't know who's coming for you. And I don't
Cam,
think,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got
go
you.
ahead.
Cam would know. Like
Yeah.
just like we had a roommate that we went to school with, His name was Red, and he just had this persona of just like he's not dealing with cops at all. Like, oh, fuck 12. That's it. That was his whole mindset. And being in the country and dirt poor towns, people had this. They do have this persona, like you said. Like they just have this hate against cops, and it's like everybody that is against the law has somewhat been done wrong by police, and that's not always the case. But I mean, everybody has a bad rep as being a black male, as being a cop, as being somebody who is different from a social norm to where they stay at. But yeah.
Do
I think it
understand that.
all pretty much boiled down to like everybody's scared. That's what it sounds like it boils
Mhm.
down to. Like cops are scared. They don't know what's going on. Black people, we're scared and we don't know what's going on. We don't know. Nobody knows how the other will react. So everybody just reacts based off of fear. And you guys were saying, like, I don't hate every cop because I've met some really good cops because y'all know I worked for DSS for a while and I've met some really good cops who give chance after chance after chance as much as they can, even in those lower income neighborhoods. Like they tried to work with a lot of the families I worked with. But then you got those other ones that, the ones we see on the news who just, they shoot first, ask questions later.
True enough. So going around the room, how do you think the cop handled it correctly in Philadelphia?
No.
No.
So we're all in the census that it ain't work out.
No.
All right, we're bringing in Mario to the chat, and man, he messed up for real.
I said, you messed up.
Exactly, he was running up in somebody's house just now.
Oh man.
You gotta say mess up over here.
I feel you.
Oh, big dog.
I mean,
So we're gonna move into the second question. So, could you date someone from a different religion, and how would you raise your children?
uh,
Can actually start off
All right.
because that was my reality at the beginning. I don't know if, yeah. So, we grew up like Southern Christian Baptist.
Mhm.
Jazz grew up and almost was baptized as a Jehovah Witness.
Oh.
So a lot of his beliefs were still like that when we first started dating. Now we have kids. So what we like at the beginning and still now with our kids, we decided that we're going to let them choose. We're not going to force them into any kind of religion because we all know that when you're forced into it, you're kind of ignorant and you're blocked. And so when someone else has a different religion, you don't want to hear what they have to say about anything. And then that kind of makes you, it's like you don't have your own belief. You just have your belief from your parents.
True.
So we decided that our kids, they'll just decide. We won't force it, but we will expose them to different religions, and whatever they decide, that's them. But I did, and I married that person, so
All right.
that's my experience.
Anybody else?
I remember dating this guy in college for a little while, and Christian. I was going to church then, reading the Bible, all that stuff. I had just been baptized, but he looked at my Bible and was like, "What is the purpose of this book?" And I was just in shock. I was like, well, like, I don't understand because he was like, he came to Clemson from India and he was going back and forth, but I was so confused. And from then on, I think that kind of just changed my perspective about dating somebody like with a different religion. It's just for me, this is specifically for me, not for anybody else. I just feel like I have to have somebody who understands it. And because to me, that means that you're understanding my beliefs and my values because that's what they come from. They come from my religion or my spirituality, I would say. 'Cause I'm not too heavy on religion, just more on, spiritualness. So, but I just have to have somebody that understands that and understands that when I'm getting up and watching church and not looking at me crazy And as far as like raising kids, I'm like Mookie on this. Like I feel like I want our kids to choose. I'm not going to force religion on them. That's just how I feel about my partner. But as far as like my kids, I want them to be happy based on whatever it is that they find to feel, that they find appealing to them. Whatever makes them comfortable, whatever makes them happy.
I feel you. Nah, I just have
You
to
looking
go
like
with.
that,
I had to go with. I probably wouldn't care. I just care if you have a religion, because I think in a sense it's kind of like a good moral standard of that person. But I don't think I could date somebody that didn't have a religion. Like if they were an atheist or a devil worshiper, I'd be like,
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Devil.
Devil worshiper.
that's a little extreme, but
hey,
It's a
but
whole
there's some
Yeah.
people out here that's
I,
that's true.
I agree with him on that though. Like basically, like it depends. Like if they got something weird, like they worship Thor and Zeus at the same time, I don't know if I could do it.
Oh god.
it's real.
You'd be surprised. Like there's somebody here whose religion is that.
So they a
It-
Viking.
Basically,
what?
I don't know. It's real.
Oh,
Hey, I've
God.
seen people.
Yeah.
No,
There's
I
a
know.
I mean, like I can be friends with you. I'll be understanding about it, but personally, I wouldn't want to date somebody like
Right.
that. Like I'm kind of like Jasmine's somebody that's gonna be understanding and understand why I believe what I believe. Like you don't necessarily have to believe in that, but you have to understand it. Like I'm more likely to date somebody within inside the Christian spectrum. No matter if you're Baptist, Methodist,
Yeah.
anything like that. Just as long as you're inside the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's good. I mean, that's just how it is. G, what's going on?
So it's crazy that you bring this up because my mom was raised Catholic and she's from like Louisiana, so that's like a whole region of Catholics. And then we get stationed to North Carolina, which is more so Baptist and Christian. And I think that religion has somewhat turned into a form of gang banging. It's like, oh, you're not Christian, so
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
you funny.
it's really like a form of gang banging if you think about it. Like, okay, so we got the Christians over here; they don't really mess with the Catholics, but it's always one in between religion that you can go to where people accept it.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really give up on Catholics. Just more so, that's a part of my family. Not saying that I'm a Catholic, but I'm gonna always have that background. But I am a Christian, if that makes sense.
feel you.
Yeah.
All
But I
right.
mean, I feel like religion has always been kind of like gangs, haven't they? They've been like going around slaughtering people in the name of the
Yeah.
Lord and all this
Mhm.
stuff just because they didn't conform to a specific religion. So it's interesting that you mentioned that because it feels like it's been
Yeah.
like that for like hundreds and hundreds of years.
Trying to get that goat's blood. You already know.
Hey man. All
Hey,
right. So this next topic is gonna be kind of quick. Can you be married and love your best friend of the opposite sex at the same time? Meaning, can you give that same amount of love to both of these people at the same time?
No,
Nah,
no,
ain't no way. You
no.
might as well marry your best friend. What you mean?
I'm
No,
I'm gonna
It'd,
just say
it'd
this
be
from
a different type of love, wouldn't it? Like
I
you're
mean,
not
right.
gonna love your best friend the same way you love a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's
it's
not
just a setup
possible.
for failure. It's a setup for failure. Like if you're doing that, you're in trouble. You doing something wrong. You're a dirty dog.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Facts.
I know.
Nah, I
To
was
me, I
just
feel like it's hard to spend so much time with the opposite sex of a friend if you have somebody like y'all can't. You ain't gonna be able to share that same type of love in between them. I don't think
yeah.
so.
Hey,
It'll be a different love, yes, but I don't know how you gonna split that properly without the other person getting upset.
and I can speak from experience. Like I didn't do this, but like my best friend Ashley, uh, she was dating this girl. But me and her being so close for so long, like we did a lot of stuff together. Like it was a really weird friendship that became in there as the other, and that's what happened. Like we used to do everything together, like go to sleep together, take showers together,
Mm.
drink. Yes, like it was and it wasn't anything like going on, nothing like that. It was just we were really, like we were just really close. That's all it was. So, like, and then I saw like later on, like I backed away because I could tell her girlfriend didn't appreciate a lot of it because anytime I actually got upset, she want to do something crazy, like go to the strip club, get drunk, go take walks, and she wouldn't go to her girlfriend. She would come to me.
Oh.
So I became an obstacle. So I sort of kind of backed away towards the end of it. Granted, they didn't end up together, but still.
Oh man, I feel you. It felt like it was distracting. So
That's a lot
everybody,
going on. Taking
everybody,
showers together. I don't know about that one now.
Exactly.
Hold up now.
It was strictly platonic, though. I promise you, strictly platonic.
he was just okay. He's like, let me pass the soap and get in the cross. Like, oh my bad.
And I think there's a problem where it's like sometimes too, where it's like it's platonic to you, but you never know what's in that other person's mind. It's like it's just one of those things where it's just like I'm gonna be looking at Cam real sideways if he try to share that type of love with another female. I'm gonna be like, boy.
But I mean, part of the reason it worked because at the time she was gay. Like she didn't want anything to do with a guy. So I mean, but she was still like a feminine lesbian type. So
I don't know. You never know. You never know because guys are dense. Guys are real dense. I learned that from Cam when it comes to girls knowing that girls have a thing for them. Because it's like I've already talked to like a guy that I know who's he's gay. But he's like it's not as black and white as you think it is.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, he can be gay and he has a preference for guys. But he was like, if he finds one girl attractive, he will sleep with that one girl if if the opportunity presents itself. But because you never know tomorrow, that girl is probably waiting for that one good time.
I mean, it came up later, like when she broke up with the girl because she always had to believe that she wanted like to settle down with. Like she's engaged now to a guy. Huh. Like when they broke up, like she wanted to date me, but it's just me personally. Like I was so close to her, I saw a lot of red flags that I wouldn't have been okay with the relationship. Like yeah, I loved her, and if I wanted to, I could have made it work.
Different breed. You a different breed, man. So we're all on consensus that this is a no.
Yes.
Yes, no.
All right. All right. So the next one is, why is there a certain preference for men and women when it comes to light skinned women?
Oh,
Mario, you gonna start first?
Oh my God.
Oh, it just I love what I love. It's something about the light skins that just make me happy.
I mean, yeah, but like, is it like a science to this? Like, you just see them, you just like, yeah.
I think because it's nothing like wrong with dark skins or any other type of woman. Like nothing wrong with all. Like it's beautiful. Yeah. I'm personally not going to be attracted to a dark skin as much as I am attracted to white. It do something to me. Like light skinned women. Just light skin and caramel, because Rihanna not all the way light skin, she's like caramel.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I understand.
But it's just like that's what I'm gonna go for before anything. Like if a dark skin approach me in a manner, that's different. But I'm not gonna approach a dark skin.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I go for the opposite side of the spectrum. Like I'm probably not gonna approach a Caucasian.
I ain't lying on there. I ain't gonna do that.
But if they approach me, like I'm gonna be open to it. But light skins, that's where it's at.
Anybody else?
I have no problem with guys with a preference. My thing is, guys, they can have a preference. Prefer your light skinned women. I just would prefer if you never dog a dark skinned chick. Never say no. I done heard too many people say crazy stuff about darker skinned women. I done heard a dude from my hometown say we look like I said, I'm not exactly dark, but my mom is really dark skinned, so it really pisses me off because it's like they were like, oh, their skin look dirty, or they look nasty, or they got an attitude, or they got anger problems, blah blah blah. And it's just all these ridiculous stereotypes that they like to throw in darker skinned women. And so, like I said, men can have their preference, like your light skinned women, whatever. But one, don't dog dark skinned women, and two, do not. A lot of times, guys like to get upset because darker skinned women choose somebody outside of their race, and then they start saying things like, "Oh, you couldn't stick within your race."
Yeah.
But it's like you prefer light skinned women, so why don't you just leave them alone? Cam know I got a lot of feelings about this whole light skin, dark skin thing. Like I said, I love everybody. Cam know I love everybody. I don't have a preference. I've dated outside of my race and inside of my race. I don't really care. I didn't talk to an Asian dude, an Indian dude, but I just have a problem with people bashing black women. That's my only problem.
I mean, I can agree with that. Like, it's not okay to bash, but I do see the opposite side. Like, it's a lot of times, like a lot of conversations I've had, like it's been aimed towards like, something's wrong with you. You don't like dark skinned women, or you don't like this type just because I like light skin. But I look at it the same way. Like, you have a preference. Like, I'm too short for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough muscle for you. But that's okay for
Mm-hmm.
you to say. But it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay for me to just like light skin.
I didn't even want to get into that. I was just gonna go straight into the question because that was my ultimate argument. It's okay to have a preference, and I do agree with the not bashing, but I feel like when it comes to a man's pride, when you'll be like, oh, I only date dudes at 6'4" or higher. You're like, man, I'm sorry, I was born this way. I mean, I can't I can't do nothing about that. But that's a whole different subject. Preferences are okay.
Yeah.
I
You like
just
what
Nikki,
you
why
like.
do you classify yourself? I feel like you like brown skin, light skin,
It
caramel.
depends. I think it depends on the season, girl, because I'm pale as I don't know what, like in December, January. Then I get my little tans.
and then
I
you get
don't
light
really
skin.
know. Yeah, right. I think I normally like to say brown, but Jazz, he straight up be like, nah,
You
you
light
light skin.
skin.
Yeah. But also
In the wintertime.
right. So I guess his theory is like if I can see like when you blush or your cheeks turn red, you light skin. That's his theory. So just that's him. I don't know. I kind of stay away from that little topic though, because I think overall it goes both ways, kind of like with the light skin, dark skin thing. I think because people focus so much on the preference, it drives like this division between light skinned girls and dark skinned girls. And it's always been like that. And I hate that. So I always kind of like, oh, that ain't me. I don't like talking about it because when you emphasize something so much,
Yeah,
it gets too real.
that's true.
So I'm like what you like. I don't care. Just
Exactly.
don't
I
be
As long as
broadcasting it
I feel you.
and dogging the opposite of what you like. That's it.
mm-hmm.
G, you got anything on this?
And I was hoping that y'all was gonna skip me, bro. But I just feel like everybody has a particular pizza they want to eat.
I
So
like that.
sometimes you want a pizza with cheese on it. Everybody not gonna like cheese pizza. But at the same time, you know what you like. I think the worst thing would be just to go along with something that you are forced into, knowing that you're not going to be comfortable, or this is not something that you want to do long term. Just being comfortable with somebody that you're talking to, but it's not really what you want to. You couldn't see yourself with this person, or we have certain situations where we're so stuck on one particular thing where we're too afraid to experiment outside our race or step out against what we're used to because that's what we're raised upon. Like, I know, like, then with my grandparents, it's like, okay, you ain't gonna bring home no white girl, or something like that. Like,
I've
stuff
heard
like
that
that. Like,
often. I've heard
yeah,
that so often.
yeah,
Better bring
stuff
home
like
a
that.
sister.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man.
my grandparents, well, my grandma and my mom, everybody thought I was gonna date a white woman. That's what they thought. I didn't know why, but
That's crazy.
I
I
don't
can
know
see
why I
that
be
for
like
you.
that.
I'm sorry.
Literally, listen, I don't know you, but I literally could see that. I ain't even trying to be
Crazy.
funny.
Out the gate with it.
I'm
I
sorry. I just
I mean, some of them be
that's what I
finding
would
their way.
expect from you. Just
Some-
just listening to how you talk.
I just know whoever I end up with gonna have to have some strong mental fortitude because
because he
yeah.
don't hold his tongue.
I'm too honest.
No, sir.
Oh man,
Don't let him get to sipping.
he gonna be.
It's
He be
over.
like, why you look like that? People's feelings gonna be hurt. They gonna go to that drawer. All right, I'm gonna move on to the. All right, so eventually there's gonna be a cure for COVID. So, what's the chances of you guys getting the cure as soon as it
0.
comes out?
Okay, I can answer this real quick. Being my profession, my career, I'm gonna be tested.
Oh yeah, you gonna.
I have no choice.
Oh yeah. They gonna
As soon
be
as it come
like,
out,
"Bing."
I'm gonna get it.
They gonna be like, stand in line next. I know how it is. They
I
just
don't get
stand.
flu shots. I don't do none of them shots.
Boom.
0. Nope.
Thank you. The end. Agreed.
If I had the choice, I would treat it like a game system. You know, you never get the game system right when it get out.
Yeah, right when it
You
first
wait,
comes
you
out.
wait to figure out the bugs, what's gonna happen,
Exactly.
and then you think about it. That's how I would treat it.
But all right, the COVID shot gonna make the best thing. I don't know if I want that.
That's my idea of it. I'm gonna wait
Like,
till it come out first. Wait till somebody else get it and be like, damn, what's wrong with you now?
I mean, at least I know somebody that's gonna get it, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk. I'm be like, yo, what do you mean you in bed for 3 years?
If you see me posting on Snapchat, I'm sweating in bed.
Exactly. Talk about after I got the shot, I about died.
Oh gosh.
Be outside in the snow and sweating. You know what happened?
I just think it's crazy how people like going about it like COVID just stopped existing. You know?
Oh
Like,
yeah, people just going to
that's
parties
really
like it's
how
nothing.
it's been. Yeah.
I mean,
That's because we have short attention spans now. If it ain't constantly on the media, you ain't paying no attention to it.
That's true.
That's true.
and then naturally,
A lot of people just over it.
Yeah, a lot of people just like to go against the norm. Like it's natural. Like if it's not what I would do, then I'm gonna do what I want because I don't care. I haven't got it yet. Nobody I know got it. So I don't think it's real. I done heard quite a few conspiracies made by the government. COVID's gonna be gone by the election. Will we get a new president? It's just something for the election. Like people don't understand like it's actually real until it hit them.
And you're trying to figure out.
They know
Like,
I think those conspiracies really came from at the beginning the lack of knowledge of what was happening, and there was too many like updates and changes every other day going back and forth. Nobody knew what to believe. I mean, we still don't know. Honestly, COVID could be a whole nother strand by now. Right. Thank you. And we wouldn't even know though.
Man, yeah, shout out to Uncle Jay for winning today, you know.
Mr. Joey? Mr. Joseph?
Yeah, y'all know who it is. Uncle Jay. He said y'all coming to the cookout. Said the VP is, starting it up.
What they said his middle name was Joseph DeQuavius.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Welcome to the
cookout. Like the blackest name ever.
Let me think. All right. So I think we kind of hit that one. All right, this is kind of a big one. How do you talk to people who exploit your insecurities as jokes? And do you cut them off, talk seriously about it? And what's the extent of what happens if they keep talking like you, talking to you like that? And this is family included, by the way.
Oh man, I can go first. This is easy.
Please.
Yeah, I am very for it. I don't mind. I tell you, because first, I'm not an insecure person. So usually people find flaws in you naturally. People are going to talk naturally. So if you say something, cool, I'm usually going to laugh at it. Tell you, okay, that might be true, might not, but I don't care because you don't determine my life. And it's not gonna bother me what your opinion is, because I'll be fine. I'm gonna go to sleep and hopefully I wake up in the morning. If not, just what? Can't help it.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. See, for me, it depends. It depends on how often it's said. So the first time it's like, ha ha ha, hee hee, I'm gonna laugh it off with you. The second time I might laugh with you, but if it gets to a point where I'm starting to feel uncomfortable and that person is aware that I'm feeling uncomfortable, but they continue to do it anyway, that's when we need to have a conversation. Because as my friend, if there's anything that you say that makes me feel uncomfortable and you know it's my insecurity because you are my friend, then that's a major problem to me. And so it needs to be a serious conversation. If they continue to want to exploit, my insecurities, then I'm gonna probably start handling them with a long handled spoon. Y'all know me, I'm kind of nice, and so I'm not really the cut off type of person, but I will handle you with a long hair handled spoon. Why you looking like that? You looking like
I gotta look away because you just don't know. Listen, I cut folks off, family, no family.
She
Quickly,
don't.
boop boop. I don't play. Cameron will tell you. I don't care. Doop doop, gone, out of here. But I never really had to deal with that because normally I tell you straight up, like, I don't like it. Don't play with me like that. And then if you do, then doop doop, out. I don't feel like I have to deal with that. There's too many other things that happen and too many other things to focus on. And I'm really, especially right now, y'all know what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I need to be surrounded by the same type of people that match my energy. So if you a person that likes to like pick on people's insecurities, then obviously that's not matching what I do. So ain't no point in keeping you around. So that's me. But I'm not mean though.
Oh, nah.
I think that we all got people that we know that got a lot of things going on, but not in a good way, like really in a sunken place.
Yeah.
And they will use these things particularly as ammunition to kind of deflect their life from being so in the gutter in a sense. So when they get to drinking,
Oh, yeah.
it's more so like yeah, well, so and so, she gave you the mumps, and then this, and that, and you know how that goes.
Play that back.
The what?
No, it was just a scenario. It was just a scenario. It was no valid point there. But
Okay,
at the same time, we it's a double perspective because there are relationships that you tell everybody everything, and this is like your best friend, and it's that one thing that they can say that can trigger you into just spazzing out because they know everything. Like, this is the person you tell everything to. But I mean, it's gonna be up for y'all to be comfortable enough to depend on this person not to tell everybody your business. But I mean, hey, not everybody can be so dependable.
Yeah, you just got to be adamant, basically. Staying your ground.
I take the 8 Mile approach. Just go ahead and get it out the way before they can say something. If they do, then your name is Clarence. So you got some nice parents. We're gonna go there.
Oh yeah. He said he basically put it out for everybody. He said you don't just tell you got it for everybody, so everybody already knows.
Speak to public, ain't no secret.
My insecurity.
Hey.
What's going on?
It's kind of like maybe. Well, wouldn't say like being short was an insecurity, but kind of. But it's an obvious thing. Like I can't run from that. So
yeah, that shit used to kill. I mean, I didn't really look at it as an insecurity, but hearing grandma and granddaddy say every single time, like, "Dang, Quincy gonna catch you. Quincy gonna catch you. Quincy gonna catch you."
No, listen, not even for you, yeah. But think about me, my little 8-year-old cousin, taller than me. You feel me? So it's like an insecurity, but also it's like, okay, it is what it is, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever now as an adult, but as a kid, you like, dang, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm drinking milk.
This a race?
Exactly.
We racing?
I'm out here drinking milk. I'm going to sleep early. What else am I supposed to do?
Grow stilts. I mean,
I ain't got them type of jeans.
Yeah.
But all right,
Crazy.
we're gonna move into the next one on music. So
Oh
basically, I'm
man.
saying rate the top three right now. You know, who's the best in the game right now? J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. I'm gonna start.
Easy.
I'm gonna start. Whoa. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna say my number one.
Oh Lord.
I'm actually gonna switch it up this time because I think I
Do it
said a
so I can
different
hang up.
answer. No, chill. Come on, man. The sixth guy is my number one.
Of course.
Oh
The
my
That
sixth
ain't no
guy.
switch up.
I mean, no, because last time I did this, just verbally, and I said J. Cole is number one. But I'm
god.
gonna say the sixth guy is number one because the anticipation for every single album he has is amazing. So I'm going Drake, J. Cole, and I'm only putting Kendrick last because he ain't put out nothing since I
It's
don't
been
know.
a while.
All right, who next?
Well, actually, his first little feature of the 2020s, I think it was about to hit or came out already. About
He
to.
did
Yeah,
with
with
Busta
Busta
Rhymes. It's
Rhymes.
out. Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
I was
But
like,
go
oh,
ahead, though. That's cute.
okay.
Oh.
Who? Somebody next.
So what we got a
Okay.
Kendrick saying? Hmm.
So I'm just gonna say this, like Kendrick has been around, so he automatically my number three. As far as what you saying about anticipation, whenever somebody put out something, you can use that for all three. Like everybody gonna have their following, like oh J. Cole just put something out, I gotta hear it. Kendrick dropping something, I gotta hear it. Drake, I gotta hear it. I'm gonna go with J. Cole. J. Cole is number one for sure. Drake is number two because he in a little sucker place right now because Greece didn't
Yo,
hit
come,
too
come
much.
on, come on, come on. I don't judge him on Grease.
I mean, but I'm counting Camelot right now. Everything J. Cole done dropped recently, it's bumping to me personally. And then Kendrick, I ain't heard him in a minute.
I mean, is that a little biased? Y'all both from the Vills. I mean,
I mean, we ain't talking about the past.
I mean, just saying, y'all
Oh
both from
man.
Fayetteville. So I mean, is there bias to it?
I mean, as far as me being mandatory to listen to slightly, naturally, but I mean, I still look at it like 1A, 1B. Like, I'm not saying it's different. It's just, if I had to rate it, J. Cole gonna be first.
All right.
Now, if Drake drops something and it's fire, and J. Cole ain't putting that out, then Drake will be currently number one. And same might go for Kendrick, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
All right. G or Bay, what you doing?
Now I'm heated right now. What everybody just said. I'm just ashamed of what y'all thought about this. Like I'm hurt. Like I'm crying in my brain. Like my brain has tears, literal tears in my brain right now because I just put Kendrick in the dustpan and threw him in trash. I just
Oh,
want to do that.
please. Why they do my man's like that?
I'm really hurt, but at the same
It's
time,
it's
it's
recency bias. That's
understandable.
all it is.
Yeah.
It's understandable. It's understandable. But at the same time, if we gonna be real about it, let's be 100% real. Because Drake don't write all his music, so he gonna have to go to number three.
First of
Number
all,
Mm,
Drake.
two,
Okay, good.
we gonna go ahead and say right now,
Okay, so I should
Drake
end it right
Drake
now.
is number one. Drake is number one businessman, top dog, number one businessman. But at the same time, I just think it's crazy how we give certain artists plaques and nominations when they don't write music. It's crazy to me. But we're not gonna
oh,
dig into that bag. Drake
I
is
mean,
number
Flip
one
my
businessman. We
mind.
already
I
know
mean,
that.
a lot of people
He's
don't
number
write their
one.
music though.
J. Cole and Kendrick write their music.
But I'm just saying, just in general, like a lot of artists
Nah,
don't write their
you
music.
right. Beyonce doesn't write her music, but at the same time, it's just like if we're going for best artist, I'm not okay. Beyonce is already, she's already on her plaque. Drake, he's already on his own. He's in his own category. A lot of all three of these artists are in their own category.
Yeah.
Kendrick is talking about something different. J. Cole is talking about something different. We can all relate to these artists in a different way. When I read the topic, I was kind of like, I mean, you really can't compare all three because Drake is either picking you up or he's talking about how TT left him. It's a lot of ways we can go with this. It's a lot of ways we could go with this. But I mean, everybody's good in their own way. I just think that Kendrick I mean, Kendrick is always gonna be there, whether he drops an album or not. Just going through the resume, J. Cole, he's always gonna be there because he's so relatable and the flow. You could just go ahead and take it from me just not liking Kendrick. I mean, well, J. Cole at all. Like I've despised J. Cole, but I still
And
gotta
you
give
from
him his
and you from
props.
Wait,
Fayetteville.
I gotta give him his
hold.
props. I'm not from Fayetteville, but you can go
Well,
ahead
I
and
mean,
That's why.
I ain't saying anything.
It's not that. It's not that. It's just you have to accept it. You have to accept it for what it is. J. Cole is good, and that's something I had to accept. Like it's just the hype that comes with it, but at the same time, Cole has earned his spot. Kendrick has earned his spot. Drake has earned his spot as well. But I just feel like they're all in separate categories. That's just me.
All right. So this is I'm gonna answer this question, but in a different way. So I'm gonna answer it based on if J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake all came out with the album at the same exact time, who would I
Okay.
run to first, second, and third? That's how I'm gonna answer this because that's what it sounds like. Because I listen to all of them, I love all of them. But I promise you, if all of them come out at the same time, I'm gonna listen to Kendrick first because I was a huge Kendrick fan back in
I'm
college.
about
I'm
to
gonna listen to
turn it
Kendrick
off.
first. I'm sorry,
That's why
baby.
I'm
you my
sorry,
I
King.
inbred.
I'm
know.
sorry.
But I'm gonna listen
That's
to
right,
Kendrick
girl.
first.
That's right.
Then I'm gonna listen to J. Cole because both of them be speaking facts. I love listening to their lyrics because they always mean something to me and it hit me real different. And then I'm gonna listen to Drake because Drake always had me moving. So that's how I'm gonna
All
answer
right.
it.
No.
I told you. I loved her. Told you.
All right.
Told
Now,
you. I
if we
told
going
you.
off of that, we could still play a Kendrick album and get with it. He hasn't dropped music for how long?
Yeah.
So it
Thank,
had to be Kendrick,
thank
right?
you.
It had to
Thank
be
you.
Kendrick then. If
Yeah.
we going
I
off of
ain't
that, it
even
had to
gotta
be Kendrick.
speak. At this point, I don't even gotta speak.
I don't know about that. Like, if it's an album dropping, Kendrick might be the last one I listen to.
Oh
Ooh,
wow.
I'm
preference, man.
different. Yeah.
Kendrick doesn't have music you can play in the car, and that is what it
And
is.
that's the type of music I like. Like, I listen to the lyrics, but a song is a
Levitate?
song.
You can't play
A
that in the
song.
car?
I mean,
DNA.
but
It's just more so. It's just more so music
it's a whole
that
catalog.
yeah,
Like, I gotta be able
music
to
that
listen.
people can understand right now versus music that's gonna like I could listen to music from Kendrick and like later on figure some shit out. Like okay, he just did that. Like if I listen to Drake, I understand everything immediately. When I listen to J. Cole, it's kind of like nostalgic from listening to what he talks about and everything else. But I think Kendrick might have the most credibility. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I'm
But
listening to Drake
he
album.
doesn't have car songs. He doesn't have car songs, and I
I mean,
understand what Mario's trying to say. He doesn't have cars.
the car is my studio.
What?
So, like, a song to me is like, it's not just the beat, it's the lyrics, and it's like I gotta be able to flex with the mood. Like, I get Kendrick, I understand his mission, I dig it. But J. Cole personally, it's just he has the widest range of topics for me. Like, if I'm in a mood where I'm feeling good, I'm about to go get some fire, so I'm gonna listen to some Cole. Like, if I'm about to go handle some business, granted, I'm not this type of person. I'm not a thug. But I mean, if I was, I'm gonna turn on the Tale of Two Cities.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just depends. Like, if I run into somebody from the past I did dirty, Land of the Snakes. I just
Okay.
That's all it is.
So I'm the only weird one
Huh.
that can listen to Kendrick in the car and feel like, man, I'm in the club right now.
Nah, I can relate to that.
Cause
I mean,
I turned on like just like he didn't have nothing recent, but Black Panther, that little soundtrack album thing, there were several songs he was on that was like car music that you can definitely ride to.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, like, if I was going like Kendrick for the club, that'd be more like Section 8 to me. Like,
Wait, what?
like I'll maybe Good Kid, Mad City, but I don't know about anything more recent. Like, it's not gonna hit me the same. Like, if I'm clubbing, I'm not going to hear
He
Kendrick
got a
talking to me.
he got a couple songs on Damn.
But
And
I mean, yeah,
Right now.
the mainstream
couple-
music that came out.
We just can't disrespect him like that
I'm
and just
not
put him number
disrespecting.
3.
I'm
That's
not
all I'm
disrespecting
saying.
him.
I could put him number 2. That's the best I could do for you.
I'll put him at
But I
number 2.
can't. But I can't put him number 3. Listen, y'all love y'all some Drake, and that's cool. That's
Hold on.
lovely.
I'm not loving Drake none
However,
of that.
I feel like I can always hear a similar song to the song on the other album that came out before that other album.
No,
But that's another
don't
day.
disrespect Drake like
I'm
that.
done.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
want-
Drake will be that guilty pleasure music. I'm not gonna lie, Cam. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna put no bad juju on you. As much as I fake like I hate Drake, I do not hate Drake. But that's just something that like niggas look at you like, oh, this nigga listening to Drake. This nigga listening to Drake right now. Like, I mean, because it's really gonna get you in your feelings at the same time. It's just like Drake is just one of them things where you be at the crib, you just like, you know what? I'm about to play that Take Care Deluxe Edition real quick.
See, that's one thing I want to say as far as Drake. I hate his crying music. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Stop crying.
You hate
I'm
his,
not sad.
what? And that's the part
I
that
am not
I
sad.
love. Did y'all hear Finesse and Jaded?
I'm about to say Jaded is my
Jaded
favorite.
was like that.
But I'm not the sensitive type, so that's why.
Did you hear Time Flies?
Nope, I don't need to cry.
It wasn't even.
He was outside with that, with the AMG, right outside.
He said,
two turns.
Thank
Everybody
you.
know me.
Thank you,
Hey,
man.
man.
Man, I don't know if I can play that. Yeah, you got to keep the lyrics down because I don't want to get,
That's
copyright.
copyright,
But yeah, I think we got the gist of that, man. I'm not even gonna get into this because we could talk days for music because music is just unanimous. Yeah.
got my head hurting.
He gonna fight.
What's the next joint?
Got me over here stressed.
I think there's let me think. So, all right. So, next one's about HBCU and a PWI, and what are the differences, and why is attending a HBCU important? And for everybody here, what kind of school did you go to, HBCU or PWI, and what was your experience?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Anybody want to start? Because I went to
Oh.
both, so I can't.
yeah, I went to both too, so I can speak to. Okay, me personally, I grew up around the HBCU environment, like that's all I was raised around. So me personally, I wanted to go to PWI simply because I wanted that diversity. I knew what HBCU offered, what it was, culture and all that stuff. That's cool. That's not my type of a tea. I'm not gonna want that. So like going to Clemson was great. Like having the experience, like meeting everybody, all the stuff to do, like it's great. And naturally, like PWIs naturally, the big ones have more money, so it's more to do. That's nobody's fault, but how America was built. HBCUs though, like they on the flip side, like it's naturally more relatable if you come from that background. Like you're gonna relate to everybody. Everybody's cool. It's a family. You know everybody. Like homecoming is a lit. It's not just a football game and fun. It's a whole week event. Like you come to see people that have graduated about 4 or 5 years ago. Your friends you grew and how everybody doing. You're gonna have a couple drinks with them. It's a family type atmosphere. But PWIs it depends on what you're like. For me, it's more so like having fun and partying while getting a great education. PWI, HCCUs, great education, family atmosphere, ties you keep for a little while.
Yeah.
They have their good and bad. I went to Clemson, graduated. It was a great experience, like Mario said, just meeting different types of people. Because I grew up in I went to an all black town, but my town where I grew up was just mostly black people. That was all I was around. There was, a speckle of, white people here and there. You might have a Latino person there, but it wasn't as much as when I was at Clemson. So I was exposed to a bunch of different races, a bunch of different cultures. In a sense, it was a culture shock because I had never been around that many different types of people. But part of me still wishes I would have went to a HBCU just because of I think the vibes on HBCU campuses are different, and I also just wish I would have went for the dance crew, the dance teams, whatever for the band, just because y'all know I love to dance. So I wish I would have got that experience, but at the same time, I don't knock my experience at Clemson. Of course, there were some issues with like racism here and there, blatant racism sometimes, but but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So it wasn't a horrible experience, but I still wish I would have been able to get both like you guys did.
It was all right, man. HBCU, I kind of knew what to expect, man. I've been around A&T like literally my whole life. I was born on was an A&T homecoming. I will say going to Fayetteville State.
Hold on, you was born on the homecoming?
I was born on homecoming weekend. That's what my mom told me.
Oh my God, they had fun.
If you think about it, like October 21st, it's around homecoming weekend.
Aggie pride.
Exactly. There was so much expectation to go there, man. So
yeah, we were like told super young, if you ain't going to A&T, you
not
better find
paying.
another way to pay.
Yeah.
Straight up.
She straight up.
They
They
told
straight up told
us.
us. Yeah.
If I knew A&T had the same tuition for our kids, I would have been up. But you ever explained this to us when we were, back in our little home town, my dad told us they specifically told us about colleges in South Carolina. That's it. That's all they told us. That's all they explained to us.
Hold on, your connection kind of acting wild.
Oh yeah, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Oh man.
Hold on. They're frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Let it go.
Oh, both a little frozen up.
You said we both are?
Yeah.
Dang, they on that T-Mobile.
Shit, I don't know
That
what's
drink
going
looked like it was about to be good.
on. Yeah, chill.